What is your inner child? The inner child is that loving, forgiving, unconditional loving emotions that you had, the hobbies and interests you had as a kid. Your inner child is who you were before the people around you, before society influenced your behaviors, your beliefs, your thought patterns. The inner child is your mind at its core, who you kind of really are. So what I've come to understand is that your inner child can be damaged very easily from traumatic events. Like when you're a child, things are more traumatic than when you're an adult. Children are highly sensitive people. The littlest things can trigger their emotions. The littlest things can haunt them, especially because kids are also really gullible. So even a scary story, a scary movie, they can see as true. They can see as something that's very scary, something that's intimidating. So when a child is going through an event or a series of events that creates heightened emotions, children cannot comprehend most emotions or most experiences that they go through unless an adult is guiding them through it. So when a child cannot comprehend or express themselves through these emotions that they're experiencing that they don't understand, that locks in that trauma away into their subconscious mind for many years, and they live with it throughout their childhood and eventually their adult life. These can be anything as simple as words that are new to them, yelling, car accidents, sexual abuse, fighting, overhearing parents arguing or fighting, bullying. Every child is sensitive. Every child is sensitive, and trauma and aggression and pain is very much more impactful on a child. It still impacts humans, however, children are very sensitive, so it allows these emotions to be very much raised for children, and it's very more hurtful when you're hurting a child. If I get in an intense argument with someone today, it won't be as traumatic as it would if they would have gotten into an intense argument with me if I was 7 years old. These things deeply hurt us, but they also deeply hurt children at a much intense level. When these events happen to children, this is stored into their body, and it is what creates anxiety. It creates depression, especially anxiety, because they start to hide themselves. They start to close themselves in, start to express themselves less, talk less, and start to close the doors to protect themselves. I'm honestly speaking from experience and research and observation. So keep that in mind, because it might be totally different for you and your childhood, along with you and your children. So when this happens, it causes children to hide themselves and push away their true nature to try to avoid these events that have happened to them in the past. This is all subconscious. This isn't them planning it out. This is just part of their children's psychology, human psychology. So this can also be in the form of anger. So not only will some children start to hide themselves or quiet themselves or express themselves less, but some other children will also experience that in anger. This will be similar to the fight or flight situation. So some children will freeze or fly, and some children will fight back. These views that you create for yourself, whether they're from other people forced upon you or the ones that you came to the conclusion to have as a child, these are the glasses that you use to view the world for the rest of your life unless you change them. This is Debo. I feel like animals are sort of like children, especially dogs, actually all animals. And I think they embody the love and the light that children do. So it goes to show that when a child starts to think and experience more is when that inner child starts to go away. And the thing about animals is humans believe that they don't have the same thought capacity as humans. And so maybe that is what allows them to stay in that inner child mindset. But they're so forgiving, so loving, and just enjoying life in the present moment. Look how cute he is. This is my friend's dog, Devo. And Devo is one of the most loving animals, but I honestly feel like all animals are the most loving animals. Okay, so now I'm going to talk about how I've been healing my inner child and what I've been doing to find my inner child, express more of my inner child. Number one would be taking time alone in silence. This allows my subconscious mind to really bring everything up to the forefront. So this can be either through meditation or walking in silence. The key is not to be distracted by anything, so your mind can let everything flow out. So when you're doing this, just having your silent time with no music or no people, try not to judge the thoughts that come up. Try not to reject them. Don't try to push them away. Just see them as clouds floating. That's what I've been told. Just to see them as clouds floating through the sky and just be aware of them. Be the observer of your thoughts. without saying, oh, that's too bad, oh, this and that. You don't need to judge yourself or other people or whatever thoughts you're having. You can just experience them or watch them. You can also do when you're having these thoughts is you can also journal them down, write them down. The more you do this, the more intense thoughts are going to come out. For more things start to come up, memories that you didn't even know you remembered that were just there in the back of your head. And they start to come out, and they can be intense, and that's fine. You have to realize that that's what you signed up for. And so when they come up, let yourself cry, let yourself laugh. It's okay. So something that came up for me would be when I used to get made fun of a lot in elementary for my appearance or the way that I talk. People used to say that I had a voice like a guy or something stupid. Like they used to say that they didn't know if I was a guy or a girl because my voice was like raspy or deep or whatever. And so I remember people used to call me weird a lot. Like I was that kid that was like really quiet, and people would just be like, why is she so weird? And so a lot of those memories came up with like people that I would have crushes on, or people that were my friend that would just constantly make fun of me and things like that. And I didn't even notice when I was a kid, which is crazy. I didn't think much of it, but then like I guess I really did, and I must have just ignored it because I never would defend myself until a certain age. So one thing that came up for me was actually my grandma's death. And my grandma, we were really close, but she died when I was 12. And I guess I never really processed it good when I was younger, but yeah, so that's something that I'm like processing still. So what I remembered was, I guess I never really, until this, right now I'm 21, she died when I was 12, so I never really fully, I guess, grasped the idea of like death or someone dying. I recently came to a realization that she's not coming back, and I'll just have like these memories of when I was breaking down in the hospital. And so going through that memory again allowed me to heal myself and realize, now that I'm older, that those feelings were okay, and understand them more and comprehend them more. And so now there's like a lot of different weights that are being lifted off my shoulder now that I am comprehending certain events that happened in my life when I was younger. Another thing I started doing was expressing myself more. Try to speak your mind more when you're communicating, doing some sort of art, poetry, making music, dancing, anything really that you want to express yourself with your body or your mind or your emotions. Go ahead and do it, try it out. I like to go to art classes where I paint ceramics. That's one of my favorite things to do, and I also like dancing. So I thought I didn't like dancing growing up because I was really shy, but I realized I really love dancing. When I was trying to lose weight about 6 months ago, I was too lazy to work out, so what I did was I just turned on like Zumba or like Dance Along With Me workouts, and they were really fun. I realized, holy moly, I love dancing. It's fun. I still haven't completely gotten over my fear of dancing in public, but that's something I'm just like working towards. Another thing I did was try to remember the things that you enjoyed as a child and get back into it. So some people, they like nature, they like, my brother, he likes catching lizards, and I used to too. So maybe you could do that. Whatever it is that you liked as a child, try to dig back into those activities and go for it. See if you still like it. If you like it, then start doing it again. Even if it's the weirdest thing to people, it doesn't really matter. Just go ahead and see how you feel about it. Another thing is just to let loose. Just go play outside, play in the dirt. We thought that dirt was bad to play in because we were gonna get these ringworms. Turns out it's not true. Take your shoes off, play in the dirt if you want to. Make a sand castle, hug a tree, go chase a duck. Just kidding, don't be mean to ducks, but go look at them, feed them with bread, feed them with cherries, mangoes. Go outside, go to the beach, the park, anything really. Just let loose and be wild. Just be free. Kids do not overthink it. They just go ahead and be free. And that's the normal way for humans to be, is just to let loose and freedom. Like freedom is like one of our key fundamentals as a human. So not letting yourself be free is like really gonna drag you down because you're meant to be free. So you might as well just go ahead and at least see if you like being free. I mean, I know I like being free, and I know a lot of people that do, so I think you would too. So I think you should just go ahead and try some form of freedom. Financial freedom, mental freedom, physical, whatever it is. It's really important also not to judge yourself when you're doing these things, because I know for me, I have that voice in my head that's like, oh, this is weird, oh, what are you doing, people don't do this, you know, like I get very anxious, or I'll be like, oh, is somebody watching me? Most of the time people aren't watching you, and if they are, good. Go ahead and lead by example, because you're literally revolutionizing yourself. And so I don't see a problem with doing something that most people don't do or most people think is weird, because in reality everyone wants to do that thing that people think is weird. They just think it's weird because everyone else thinks it's weird, so they don't really think it's weird. Okay, so one of my favorite things to do is to start my morning really playful. I turn on music sometimes when I'm taking a shower. I like to dance. I like to make jokes to myself. I'm literally always in the mirror just cracking jokes about myself, to myself. I literally act like the craziest kid. I act like a kid with my friends, with myself, with my pets. I mean, I just literally say I'm going to be myself, and myself is very playful, and I think a lot of people are very playful. So especially when you're starting your morning, how you start your morning is going to determine the rest of your day. So if you're going to start your morning in a playful, loving mood, accepting yourself, accepting little things about yourself, being joking around, you're going to have a good day. Last one is meditating. You can meditate for an hour, you can meditate for 30 minutes, you can meditate for 10 minutes or 5 minutes. Doesn't matter, but just getting in that meditation to really slow down your mind. Your mind is constantly being stimulated by people, technology, music, whatever it is. And also, we're always busy throughout our day. We're the busiest humans have ever been. And also, we're the most sad and stressed as humans have ever been. So just take 5 minutes out of your day to just meditate, focus on your breath, or just to relax your mind. And your body and your heart is going to thank you, because it's good for your whole body physically, and it's also good for your emotional body and your spiritual body. And so after that, you will know what to do. You will get all the answers you want in life from meditating and slowing down. Thank you so much for watching this video. We're almost at 200 subscribers. I know I said this last video, but it's actually really exciting. Like, I honestly feel like I'm going to get a cake when I get to either 200 subscribers or 228 subscribers, because that's like one of my angel numbers, 228. And it's something that means a lot to me. It's also my birthday. But I see it so much, like the angels are sending me that all the time. So yeah, I'll let you know what I do, but thank you so much if you're subscribed, and thank you so much for watching. It really means a lot to me, and thank you for liking it. Thank you for commenting. Just thank you for everything. I really appreciate it. I will see you next video. Peace.